Hello everyone, I know it's been a while, about 2 weeks now. I was creating a little side project that I'm going to show you in the course of this video. So today we're going to be doing a Frontend Mentor challenge which they have just published around an hour ago. And it's called a 3-column preview card component. So you can head over to frontendmentor.io/challenges and just click this card. And then you can click on start challenge, and remember that you always have to be logged in order to access these challenges. So you can say get started, and you can say this is my first attempt, and I'm just going to say download starter like so, which will download it for me. And I'm going to head over into my downloads folder. So I'm going to go over into downloads, and I'm going to extract this right here, extract it, and then I'm going to open this up with Visual Studio Code like that. And there we have it. So we have this open up in Visual Studio Code. If you head over to udemy.com and search for TsbSankara like that, then you'll find a course. And yes, this is what I've been working on for the past 2 weeks, and it's 6 hours total with 44 lectures. And the course is called Learn Modern Web Development from Scratch, HTML and CSS. So I've been working on this course, and I finally published it yesterday, and it got approved by Udemy around an hour and 20 minutes ago. So if you're new to Udemy and you need to create an account to sign up, then you'll get a discount of 35% off on the purchase for the next 5 hours, actually for the next 6 hours. And if you click on this, then you can say add to cart, or you can say buy now. And if you really enjoy this course, please remember to leave a review. It will really help me greatly. And another alternative, if you want to access this course, is that you can head over to my website, tsbsankara.co.ke, and remember, all these links are going to be down in the description, so don't bother to try and remember all of them. You can just check them out in the description. And you can see that on my website I've also placed a very colorful looking flag inside here which says new course announcement, and you can get it now. So by clicking this link, you can go to the course directly, or you can head over to the courses tab right here, and then you can just say course link once again, which will take you to the course. And just like that, then you'll be able to get the course for $12 currently if you're a new subscriber to Udemy, or for $19, which is the current price. Before you continue this video, I just want to remind you that if you enjoy the content, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me greatly, and it shows your support for the channel. So let's head over back into Visual Studio Code, and let's take a look at all of this. So this is what we're going to be building. This is the desktop design. We have 3 columns, which should be relatively easy using CSS Flexbox. And then we have the mobile design where they just stack on top of each other. So that's looking nice. And then we have the icons for the luxury, for the sedans, as well as for the SUVs. So right away inside my index.html, what I want to do is, let me just place this to the side and place this to the right as well. And then I'm going to link a style sheet that I'm going to create inside here. So I'm going to link style.css. And then what I want to do is create the actual style sheet. So I'm going to create a file called style.css. Right. Okay. And then actually, let me grab this. Let me move this into my style sheet. Let me place it inside here. Let me remove this, and then let me go to the bottom and change this href into my actual website. Let's co.ke like that, and then change this to my name. Please remember that this is your name. Don't place my name inside here. This is for you when you're going to be building it. Okay, so from these are basically the 3 divs that we want to have. So what I want to do is I want to grab all of this. I want to grab this and just say div with the class of container, and then paste this in. And then once I do that, then I want to grab this and place it inside a div with the class of card, like so. Paste this in, and then grab this and place it inside a div with the class of card, like so. And then grab this once again and say div with the class of card, like so. And then push this down, and I'm going to say I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to hold down Control and grab this. Wait, that doesn't work. Oops, that's okay. I can just say place my cursor here, and then hold down the Alt key, and then click right here. And then I'm just going to say Control Shift and to the left, which will select all this, and I'm going to cut them out, and I'm going to place them inside H3s like so. So these are going to be our titles. And then for this, I'm going to cut this out, right? Place it inside a paragraph like that, and then grab this, cut it out, and place it inside another paragraph, and then grab this and paste it inside another paragraph, so that we're going to have this as our boilerplate. And I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to open this up with live server like so, so that we have this on our screen. And then let me just say we need to have our icons at the top. So I'm going to go back into my index.html and I'm going to add an image here. This will become from /images and it's called sedans, like that. Then I'm just going to copy this and paste it inside here, change this to SUVs like so, and then I'm going to paste it inside here as well, and then change this to luxury like so, so that when I save this, then this should appear on the screen. That's looking fantastic. So let me just see what we have in our style guide markdown file so that we can grab the fonts that we need actually. So this is called TsbSankara, and this is called Big Shoulders Display. This is font 400. So let me just click this link and open it up like that. And then I'm going to copy this because I'll need to search for it as well. So this is the only font weight that is here. So let's go back to Google Fonts like that and then just search for this. We grab this and we need the 700 font. There's the 700, this one right here. And then I'm going to grab the link tag, copy this, and then inside my index.html right at the top, I'm going to place this inside here like so. Okay, so this should reset our font just a bit, but we need to specify. So I'm going to go above my attribution right here, and I'm going to say that for the body, this should have a font family of, it's called TsbSankara should be it, with a fallback of sans serif, right? And then probably for the H3s that we have inside here, then the font family is going to be Big Shoulders Display. I think that was the name. Big Shoulders Display with a fallback of sans serif once again. And then at the top, before I save this file, I'm going to place my asterisk and I'm going to reset everything. So I'm going to say margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing, set it to border box like that, and so that we have this, and that's already looking nice. Correct. Now I noticed that the H3s are all capital, so let me just do that inside here once. So I'm going to say text transform, and I'm going to say uppercase like so, which will make them uppercase. Okay, and then I'm going to say probably font size, set this to around 24 pixels to make it just a bit bigger. Let me see how this looks. Okay, that's almost the size. Let me see what the mobile version has. Okay, that's not bad, that's not bad. And let me increase this to, let's see how 30 pixels will look. Okay, this is still manageable. And then what I want to do is we need to add our buttons. So right below this paragraph, I'm going to place my cursor here, and then I'm going to hold down the Alt key, and I'm going to click right here and then here, and I'm going to create a button with a class of btn like that, that says learn more. So I'm going to say learn more like so. And let me see what the button font is. The button has a font family the same as the paragraph, so let's specify that inside here. And I'm going to say probably inside here should be fine, button, because I don't think we're going to be adding any more styles to our body, so specifying this inside here should be fine as well, so that we have this on the button. Okay, looking nice. And then what I want to do is, I noticed that these buttons all have different text color for each one of them. So for example, this is red, orange, this is whatever this color is, and then this one as well. So let me just see, let's go back to our style guide markdown file right there, and let's see. So the body, the paragraphs all have a font family of 15 pixels. Let's specify that so that we don't have to keep on messing around with this. I'm going to say font size. Oh, I said font family, I meant font size, sorry. So font size of 15 pixels like so. And then let's see what else that needs to be changed. Transparent white, this is for paragraphs. And then we say very light gray, the background, the headings, the buttons. We have bright orange. This is for the first div. So what I want to do is I want to give this first div another class called bright-orange. And then the second one, I'm going to say dark cyan. So this is called dark-cyan. And then this is called very dark cyan, like so. So that we're going to be targeting them differently in our CSS, and then we're just going to be changing the colors for each one of them. So let's see how this is. Let me just copy all of this, copy this, and then inside my CSS, I'm going to create some variables, and I'm going to say root, just paste this in, change this to two hyphens, sorry, like so, and then change this to a small letter, change this to 2 slashes, dark cyan, like so. and do this as well, very dark, and then we remember to place our semicolons, so that we're going to have this, and this is a double. Okay, just so that we don't need to keep on jumping back and forth into our markdown files. So I'm going to copy this, I'm going to save this, and then let's target our div with a class of cards. Our div with a class of bright dash orange, like that. And I'm going to say background color for this should be var equals to bright orange, like so. That when you save this, then this should change color, correct? And then let's target our div called dark dash cyan, and then change the background color to dark cyan, like so. And then let's target our div called very dark cyan, and then let's change the background color to very dark cyan, like so. And then right inside here, I just want to go inside here once again, and I'm going to say change the text color to white, so that we have this. And let's see how this looks in our design. Looking nice. Actually, I want the desktop, I want the mobile design first, so that we have this. Okay, looking almost amazing. Okay, and then let's go back into our style CSS and let's begin styling this further. So I want to target each of the divs that has a class of card, and I'm just going to say add a padding of probably around 30 pixels all around, like so. And then let me target the container, and I'm going to say for the container I want the padding to be 20 pixels all round, so that it moves inwards. So the padding of 20 pixels in the container is this space that we have right here, and then that padding of 30 pixels of the card is what moves each of this text inwards. We need to have a border radius on the top left and top right of this orange card, and then on the bottom left and the bottom right of this very dark one. So what I'm going to do is right inside here, I'm just going to say border radius, and I'm going to say around 10 pixels on the top left, 10 pixels on the top right, and then 0 on the bottom right and 0 on the bottom left, so that this happens. Notice that. And then inside this last div called very dark cyan, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm just going to copy this inside here, and then I'm going to remove these two zeros from the end. I'm going to place them to the beginning. So this means border radius of 0 on the top left, 0 on the top right, and then 10 pixels on the bottom right and 10 pixels on the bottom left, so that when I save this, then this happens. Looking nice, looking nice. And then let's target the h3s. Actually, let's target our, let's go inside our card class, target the images first of all. And I'm going to say margin bottom for the images should be around 30 pixels. Move it away, that's too much, let's say 20 pixels. Move it away from this title just a bit, and then let's go inside the card class, target the h2 once again. I'm going to say margin dash bottom, set this to 20 pixels, and this is margin, like so. So the margin here is more than the margin here. So let's set this, let me set this to 10 pixels. Let's see how this looks. That's too small. So let's set this to 25, so that the margin here is greater than the margin here as well. And then let's target the paragraph. So I'm going to say card paragraph, like so. And I'm going to say margin dash bottom, set this to 30 pixels. And then once I set this to 30 pixels, let me just go back to our design a bit, and let's style out our buttons now. So we gave the buttons a class of btn for each one of them, right? So let me go back into my style.css, and right at the top, or rather below this paragraph, I'm going to target our button, and I'm going to say background color should be white. And then we're not going to set the text color inside here, but we're going to be targeting for each of the divs, because the text color for the button changes with whatever div that we're viewing, right? For example, this is the text color for this is orange, this is dark cyan, and this is very dark cyan. So let's see how we're going to do this. We're going to say background color is white, right? We're going to remove the border, so I'm going to say border. Actually, not remove the border, but I'm going to place a border of 2 pixels solid and white. And then I'm going to say border radius for each one of these should be 30 pixels, 13 or 300. And then let's add a padding of 10 pixels all around. And let's say 10 pixels on the top and bottom and 20 pixels on the left and right, so that we have that. Okay, looking fantastic. And let's just say cursor pointer. And then for the btn hover, actually let me see what we have for the active states for this, so it becomes transparent when you hover over them. So I'm going to say for the btn, and I want to target the hover state, then I want the background color, so I'm going to say background color, set this to transparent, And let's say the text color should be white. Text color should be white. Let me see if this is indeed white. Let's go inside here. Let's see. So the text color, when you hover over each one of them, becomes white. Okay, so that's easy enough to do. That when we have this, let me just add a transition because I don't want it to pop in immediately like that. So I'm going to say transition, and I want to transition all the properties by 0.4 seconds, and then we just say is in out. So save this and look at that. That's much smoother, looking very nice. And then for the paragraphs, let me just increase the line height. Let me see how this looks. Yep, let me increase the line height for these paragraphs. They look too squeezed in, so I'm just going to go inside here and I'm going to say line height. Set this to about 1.8. Let's see how this looks. Too big, let's say 1.6. That's much better. And then finally, what we need to do is now just change the text color for the buttons for each of these divs. So I'm going to go inside the bright orange div, right? So I'm going to copy this down and I'm going to target the btn inside this bright orange divs, and I'm going to change the text color to bright orange like that. Look at how the color changes. And then when we hover over this, then okay, I've just noticed something. Now this is something to do with CSS specificity. I'm just going to leave this in for a moment so that I can explain it better when we finish. And then I'm going to go inside the dark cyan class, and I'm going to target the btn, and I'm going to say the text color for this should be dark cyan, so that this changes. And then do the same for the very dark cyan. So dot very dark cyan, target the btn, and I'm going to change the color to very dark cyan, like so. Okay, now with CSS specificity, the lower you are in your style sheet, then the more specificity that you have. Notice that even though we have set the btn hover state here, and we have set the text color to white, when we go immediately right below this, then we have another btn declaration where we change the text color once again to bright orange. Now that affects CSS specificity, meaning that this now has higher specificity than this, and therefore these styles will be applied. So in order to fix that, I can just grab this and place it to the bottom of this and just say that, and notice how it will just now work automatically, looking amazing. Okay, now all we need to do is just scale it up for bigger screens, and we're going to scale it up. We're going to add a few media queries, probably just one maybe. And let me just go to the bottom of this, and I'm going to say at media, and I'm going to say for a min width of, let's say, 992 pixels. Then let me space this out. I want to target the container first of all. And for the container, what I want to do to the container is I want to place it perfectly to the center using flexbox. So I'm going to say display, and I'm going to say flex, align item center, justify content center, and then set the minimum height for each one of these, for the container, sorry, to 100 viewport height, so that it goes completely to the center. And would you look at that? That's looking amazing. And probably I don't want align item center. Let me see how this looks if I remove align item center. Okay, we need it. So let's say align item center. What I want to do is go inside the card class, probably specify as an absolute height for each one of these. And let me just limit the container actually, and I'm going to say max width for this should be, let's say, 900 pixels, so that they move inwards like so. And then reset it back to the center by saying margin of auto, like so. And just as we do that, then we notice that we don't need to set this to a fixed height. Okay, so then once we do this, then what I want to do is target these divs. And actually, let me just add a media query where I'm going to increase this max width. So I'm going to say at media, and I'm going to say for a min width of 1280 pixels, 1280 pixels, 8 not 9. Okay, and I'm going to target the container once again, and I'm going to say increase this max width to, let's say, 1200 pixels, so that it just grows a bit bigger, probably let's say 1100. Let's say 1100. And then I want to target this div with the class of bright orange and remove this border radius from the top right and add it to the top left. And then I want to target this div and remove this from the bottom left and add it to the top right. Okay, so what I mean is, right inside here, when we display this as flex, then I want to target the bright orange div, and reset this border radius. And I'm going to say border radius of 10 pixels on the top left. So the bright orange div is this one. So on the top left, we want 10 pixels, and then we want 0 on the top right, and then 0 on the bottom right, and 10 pixels on the top left. And then we do the opposite for the very dark cyan div, where we're going to say border radius, and set this to 0 on the top left, then 10 pixels on the top right, which is this right here, and then we say 10 pixels on the bottom right, and then 0 on the bottom left. So that, look at this div looking amazing. And then the final thing that we need to do before we can submit this is just probably add a bit more margin to this button. So let me just figure out where I added that button. Where's the button? Okay, I added margin on the paragraph. So what I want to do is grab this, and then right inside here, I'm just going to increase this margin to around 50 pixels so that the button moves down just a bit more. And look at that, we have this looking amazing. And then once we do that, then what we can do is, let's see what else we need to change. Probably this, we can increase the padding on the left and right for this, that the cards are just a bit bigger. Let me see how this looks. Let me go back into our card class, and right where we now display this as a flex, I'm going to target the card class right inside here, and I'm going to say the padding, let's increase the padding to probably 50 pixels all around. Rather than increase the padding to 50 pixels all around, let me remove this media query, and this would look like this. Okay, and then if this looks like this, then what we can do is we can just remove this media query altogether, and then we can say that set the height for this to around, let's say 300 pixels. Too small, let's say 500 pixels looks like this. Let's say 450 pixels, which would look like this, but I don't really like this because, as you can see now, the button starts behaving terribly. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Let's reduce this padding instead to 30 pixels. Sorry, let's increase it to 40 pixels. 40 pixels would look like this. This really isn't bad. It's not really that bad of a look. Okay. What we can do though, what we can do is probably the margin here is a bit more for the paragraph. So let's target our paragraph here. Let's say margin bottom to 80 pixels. Push away even further, and then let's reduce this to 45. Let's see how this would look for 45 pixels, and this is looking manageable. This is actually looking even closer to the design. Let me just check this out one more time, and yep, I think we are done with this. So what I want to do now is actually just submit this project, right? So I'm going to close this down, and then I'm going to create a Git repository. So I'm going to go into github.com, and I'm going to create a new repository, and this repository is going to be called 3-column, what is the name of the project? Preview card component, like so. And then I'm going to create this repository. So this link is also going to be in the description if in case you want to look through the code. And then I'm going to copy this link that is provided to us, and I'm just going to say git init. First of all, you need to initialize an empty git repository, like so that this will now become untracked git commits. And then I'm going to say git add all, and I'm going to say git commit -m, and I'm going to say preview card component complete, like so, which will now add everything to my git to the staging area, sorry, so that we can say git status, and we can see that everything is on branch master, nothing to commit. Okay, never mind about that. So I'm going to say git, first of all, you need to change this branch. Actually, let's do this last. I'm going to say git remote add origin, and I'm just going to paste in that link that I copied, and then I'm going to say change this branch from the master to the main branch. So I'm going to say git branch -M main, like so, which will change to the main branch. I'm going to say git push upstream, so -U, and I'm going to say origin, push it to the main branch, like so, and this will push it to my git repository, so that when I open this, I can just reload this, and you'll notice that it is now committed. And then the next thing that I want to do, I want to leave this page open, so that the next thing I'm going to do is open Netlify, because this is where I want to deploy this finished component. And once I open Netlify, I'm going to say new site from Git, and I'm going to select GitHub because that's where I committed my code, and I'm going to search for three column, just like that. Select this, and it's loading, and I don't have a published directory. Remember, I don't have a published directory, but what Netlify will do is that it will just take the index.html file and then it will commit everything from the index.html file. So I can just say deploy site, like so, and then I can change this site name, to probably sound like TSB Designs preview card component, like so, and I'm going to save this, and this should now be up on the internet. And just like that, we have this. Now what I want to do to submit this is I want this to copy this link, and then I'm going to go right inside here and I'm going to say submit solution, and the live site URL is what I copied, and then the repository URL, that's why I needed this to be open. I'm going to paste it inside here, and I'm going to say mobile fast 3-column preview component, like so, using vanilla CSS, just like that. And I'm going to say submit solution, and we're going to get the points. So let's this finish, and there we go. So we have successfully completed this project. We have submitted it, and let's see where I can get solutions, and we will have this, as you can see, submitted just now, and it's looking amazing. So that will be it for this video. If you have not subscribed, please remember to subscribe. If you enjoyed the content, it really helps out a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.